Hi guys, hope you're well. Welcome to DOdaily, Thursday Thoughts. Your questions answered live. It's Des here, of course. In a really good frame of mind today. Really looking forward to getting stuck into the episode. Before I start, please hit that subscribe button. Get notified of all future episodes. If you like what you hear, please give it a thumbs up. And throughout the episode, please add your comments, anything you want to sort of get involved in, anything you want me to mention, any further questions, responses to what I say in the questions. I'd love to sort of read a few of those out, trying to be a little bit more interactive, get my head around all of this. But like I say, really looking forward to getting stuck in. Plenty of feedback today, which is absolutely fantastic. Sometimes people are a little bit nervous to say what they think. They tend to tell me in person and not want me to put it down. But yeah, lots to go at. So looking forward to getting stuck in a really good frame of mind right now. I've got a big smile on my face. Just actually ran for the first time in 3 weeks. And that's always what picks me up. I've been moaning for the last 3 weeks that I can't do it. Been trying to find ways to stay positive. I think I've done a pretty good job of it. Lots of really good stuff happening, Not quite as good as it were for the weeks before that, probably because I couldn't run. But got out this evening, really, really careful, really steady. I actually got in a walk this morning, coaching one of the guys, who needed to do it at different times. So got up, added that little bit of accountability, always talking about that, aren't I? And then sort of went about my business today. I had some physio on my arm, which of course has been the reason I've not been able to do it. And then it just felt that little bit better. It's still really sore. I can't do anything with it. But the fact that the running don't require me to use it, the vibrations are just eased up a little bit, and it allowed me to get out there and do what I really wanted to do. Tough session, but took it easy, took it steady. But it's put me in a great frame of mind, really sort of pleased to get it recorded, look back at what I've done, get involved with the guys again. That's what it's all about for me. When I can do that, the day is definitely better. And it just changes the dynamics of everything. Whilst I'm still going to go about the things I need to do, I've still got to be careful, there's still a lot of pain, I can't get complacent. At least I've got something to work from. Running is my real passion. Running is what drives me to do everything else, to encourage people to get involved, to encourage sort of health and well-being and self-development. So when I can use that, when I can refer to it, when I can say I've done it, hopefully I can inspire and motivate people to get involved too. But aside from the running, I haven't actually got a running question today, which is okay. I always say it's absolutely what you want me to answer. That's what Thursday Thoughts are all about, trying to be honest, realistic, pass on some thoughts which can be transferable into whatever sort of floats your boat. Like I say, for me, it's that. But we've all got different interests, hobbies, things that make us tick. So for me today, absolutely buzzing to get out there and do that. I'll look to build on that probably over the weekend. Was thinking about walking at a park run, but perhaps I can just pick the pace up a little bit. But again, I've just got to take it day by day. As I always say, with everything that's not working, we have to take it one day at a time and see where we get to. So I'll wake up tomorrow, see how it is, but hopefully, fingers crossed, I can just start working on the pace. And that's important. Of course, in the last few weeks, I've been talking about targets. I was hoping before the hand injury to sort of work through things, really get myself in a good position for the end of the year, start of next year, to really start the training plan to the London Marathon next October, but also to the wedding, of course. That's looming next September, and all the events that I've got to do in between that. So the targets I've been talking about was all geared towards that. So I'm going to run through where I'm at with those. Again, the injuries played its part, but I was talking about dynamic there. Now these probably become that little bit more achievable if I've not done them yet. So the first one, no takeaway coffees till the end of the year. I've still had no takeaway coffees. Again, in many ways, it's quite easy. In lots of ways, it's really, really difficult. You know, I've not been able to do all the work I wanted to do. So sometimes it'd be nice just to take myself away or just to have that little guilty pleasure, you know. But I've not done it, you know, again, one day at a time and all that. I don't think too much about it at the moment. You know, having plenty of non-takeaway drinks. So managing to get through that one. This one has proved to be a bit of a nightmare whilst I've been injured. You know, run a sub 27-minute 5K. 3 weeks ago, I would have been really confident before my hand injury. But now, I've just got to get out there. Hopefully Saturday, I can post a sub 30 maybe, park run time if I can run. I know I'm pretty much capable of that when I'm fit and well. Well, not when I'm particularly fit, but when I'm able to run at least, you know, even if I'm not in the best sort of shape. So hopefully I've probably still got, if the injury allows me to pick up my running again, I've still got, 6 weeks before the end of the year. So I can work at knocking that down and giving it a real go. Get tons of subscribers on your channel. This one's proving difficult. I need you guys to help me do that. You know, I can't do this one on my own. It's a little bit out of my control. I can do things to try and build interest, you know, to encourage people. I've done a lot more social media around it. Bizarrely, I actually gained 2 followers and lost 2 followers this week. So it is what it is, isn't it? You know, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. It'd be nice. You know, this is one of those where just got to kind of go with it and just kind of work hard to try and build it. But people have got to subscribe at the end of the day. I can't do too much, but I'll keep giving it a go. And like I said it right at the start. Please hit that subscribe button. Anybody can get involved. There's nothing too technical, nothing too scientific, nothing I'm trying to trip anybody up on or be clever about. And again, I'm just trying to be realistic in the things I say and answer your questions. You know, it's a chance to interact. Do 5 part runs you haven't done before. I've actually now done 3 in the last 3 weeks that I'd never done before. So I'm well on the way to this one. And next weekend, I'm going to a football match. And we're stopping over the night. So really looking forward to doing, we're going on the Friday, going to a Forest game. And then I'll be doing one in West Bromwich of all places. Never thought I'd be part running there. But that'll be the 4th. And then with 5 weeks to go, I'll have one to do, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick that one up. It's been really nice visiting these different park runs. Again, different kind of inspiration. I love the park run tourism anyway. Anybody who doesn't know what that is, it's just these things are run locally and everybody's got their local favourite. But if you go to a different place, it's nice to see what it's all about. It's kind of almost exactly the same, but with just a slightly different course. Well, a much different course, but a slightly different take on it. And as park runners, love doing that. So really enjoyed it, despite the fact I've had to walk them. You know, walking is okay at park run. It's absolutely fine. I enjoy walking at the best of times, but at park run, I like to get out there and work away on my 5K, you know, put a bit of effort in, get sweat on, get the endorphins flowing going into the weekend. That's what park run's all about for me. So whilst it's absolutely okay to walk, you know, I love getting out there for a run and seeing what I can do. So again, well on the way to that one. Pleased with that one. And lose an average of £2 per week between now and Christmas. I think I'm pretty much stagnated at this one. But again, with the running coming back in, and I'm looking at a few big changes to my diet from next week. I'm just waiting for some products I'm testing, you know, just to sort of get me into good routines. You know, I can really click in at once I see a little bit of weight loss. So I've still got plenty of time to do this one. I know I can hit it hard and then start losing it. So I think before this week, I was sort of £5 down in the last 4 weeks. So that 3 behind schedule. But I know I can do this. You know, I know I really, and especially with an increase in activity, you know, so I'll be giving that one a real big shot. So that's all that, you know, that's where I am with those targets. Again, just to show that we can work away at things, chip away at things, keep going, you know, even when difficult things are thrown at us, there's ways of getting around things and doing the best you possibly can. So last week's throwback, of course, we always start with this, apart from those targets. Last week's throwback question: what's your favourite time of the day to do activity? Of course, we've been talking a lot about the change in the clocks, and the fact that now it's difficult for some people to get out. Seasonal affective disorders kicked in. A lot of people, I think I suffer from it slightly myself, although I try to sort of fight it. I think between October and March, it's becoming a thing. I actually seen a thing on the news about it as well, that people are becoming more aware of it, and numbers are increasing, possibly because it is people are becoming more aware of it. But it's definitely something, isn't it? We all feel great in the summer when we can get out and do what we want, when we can sort of enjoy our activity or meeting people in the daylight, in the warmth. And in the winter, of course, whilst we don't hibernate like animals, we hibernate to a degree. We sort of wrap ourselves up, tuck ourselves in. All the good programs come on the TV. I'll come back to that one later. There's a question about that. And we just kind of sort of bed down a little bit, don't we? But sometimes that can just get to us because we can lose a bit of motivation, when our activity levels might drop. Like I say, I try to sort of fight that by thinking I enjoy getting out there in the dark. I enjoy getting out there in the rain. It's not always the case. I do to some degree, but for me, I just think it makes it feel a little bit more epic. But I totally understand it. And that was the reason for asking this question. What I wanted to do was show people what people get from getting out there at different parts of the day, because there's no right or wrong answer again with these throwback questions. And if somebody's thinking they're doing it wrong, it might just inspire them to keep going. Kay says she really likes to get up and at it. She loves to run or swim first thing in the morning. I don't think that's always been the case for Kay. Knowing Kay pretty well as I do. But she's found some real steely determination over the last 12 to 18 months, and really is stuck into it now. Really keen on achieving good things, and she's been really hard at it, giving it a go, and it's really admirable looking in. Really inspired myself when I've not been able to do it as well as I wanted to. Really impressed with what she does. So great to see that happening. Dawn says she loves getting up early and getting her activity done. Even better that she gets to see the sunrise while she's out there. Absolutely. A couple of times this week I've been up early. I mentioned I was up early this morning with one of the guys doing a little bit of extra work. I didn't have to do that, but I got out there, took some pictures of the sunrise whilst I was still a little bit frustrated this morning. I was in more pain this morning than I was this evening. I took a few photos, took my mind off what I was doing. I was supporting somebody else, and it was just great to be out. And then ultimately throughout the day I've picked up, just shows by getting up early sometimes what it does. Helen says, I'm an early bird, definitely rather get up and out when the getting up bit's difficult. Love the feeling later on in the day knowing she's done it. Again, bit of a theme already there, isn't there, running through. Slight change in the next one. Tim Shipman says, at Tim Shipman 15, Tim, just before lunch, it gets the appetite going. Again, somebody's just feeling that if they can get out, I know at certain times I've used my lunch break to get out for a run. Definitely gets the appetite going. Definitely makes you feel good in the afternoon as well, where if you've got work to do, picks those endorphins up. Probably just gets you through the day. What I do find is you start flagging rapidly at the end of the working day. So great response there. Rachel, late afternoon or early evening for me is always better, but when I get up in the morning, I never regret it. Again, I think that's pretty much where I am with it. I almost have to come round to the day. I'd like to think I'm what's the word? Lots of people say they're a morning person. I'd like to think I am, but I know I'm not perfect in the morning. It takes me a bit of time to come round. Love getting out early. Like Rachel says there, I'd never regret it when I've done it, but really do struggle. And I think I just perform that little bit better later on. I'd love to be like Kay or Dawn or Helen get up at 6 o'clock every morning and just get out there. When I'm in good habits, when I'm really on top of things, that's what I do. But I tend to perform a little bit better later on when I've had a chance to warm to the day. Ash says, morning. Having the head start beats any afternoon session. Knowing Ash well, he has to have his cup of tea first, though. So as long as he's had that, I know he's definitely on it when he gets going. But again, lots of people enjoy getting it in early, don't they? But realise that it's not always that easy. Ian says he loves to run in the morning. It always makes him feel good about the day ahead. However, due to working shifts, I always end up running in the evening. There's never a wrong time to do it, is there? But sometimes we just have to make it work for us. I spoke about that a lot yesterday, didn't I? When things don't go to plan, check out that Wednesday episode. Some sort of advice and tips on how we can sort of just adjust our plans and what we're doing when, like I say, things aren't going as we want them to. And Ian still gets out there and does it. And that's the important thing. That's the really important thing in all that. And again, just to reiterate my point there, I was just sort of blasting through those just to sort of show that there's no set time. There's no one size fits all. It's whatever works for you. And that's what you have to remember sometimes. So don't sort of get bogged down in too many theories about morning running or evening running or doing it at lunchtime. It's whatever works for you. So thanks for all those responses. Really appreciate that. There'll be another throwback at the end. But the questions, like I say, if you've got any comments to add on any of these, please drop them in. It would be great to hear, get a response. I'll try and offer a response to those. So cracking into those, bit of a variation. How do you cope with having a bad day? Mark? Well, one thing I try to do these days, in all reality, is think that I never have a bad day. We do have days where things seem to go against us. But if you really take one day at a time, or what any given day, more good things happen in a day than bad things, don't they? Of course, things get frustrating, things upset us, things wind us up a little bit, but the reality is once something bad's happened, how bad is it really? Of course, there's tragic things in life, what happened, and I'm not sort of disregarding those. I've had to deal with some of those myself, and a couple of weeks ago I spoke about something very similar. But for example, if you crash the car, and nobody's hurt and nobody's died from it, I guess, what can you do about it after that? Yes, it might cost you some money to put right, but what's money in happiness? Nothing. I've learned a lot in the last few years that money doesn't buy anything. So again, you can't control it. It's one of those things that once it's happened, even today, this evening in the coaching session, I was supporting one of the ladies, she tripped up and I was like, get back up and go again. I wasn't being sort of ignorant to the fact that she might be injured. What I said to her after that, though, if you was injured, you wouldn't get up and go again. But what we can tend to do is feel a little bit sorry for ourselves. You've got to get straight back up and get on the horse. And whatever happens during the day, yes, I know I've got a positive outlook, and I try and be enthusiastic and encouraging and support wherever I possibly can and try and sort of rise above these things. And I know these things will get to everybody in a different way. But it all boils down to that thing I say on every single episode about don't be defined by things you can't control. Like I say, once the car's crashed, what can you do about it? If you're stuck in traffic, you're stuck in traffic. If you're in the middle of a motorway, there's nothing you can do about it. You can only deal with it going forward. And ultimately, as long as nobody gets hurt by it, and there's no tragedy, what's the worst that can happen? If you're late for work or somebody says something nasty to you, that's not nice. Don't get me wrong. But you just have to move forward from it, don't you? And you have to be positive about the next thing. If you take it with you, negativity leads into more negativity. So there's no such thing as a bad day. There's things as bad occurrences. Things happen to upset us, and we have to quickly move forward because if we let that negativity if we dwell on it, another bad thing's going to happen. I was talking about my fall a couple of weeks ago. I was probably thinking too much about other things and not concentrating on what I was doing. I was worrying about one or two things, thinking too much. And ultimately, I think I fell over because of that, because I wasn't concentrating on actually running. I was talking, I was chatting away, I was trying to make a point. And that's the thing, isn't it? I tried to bounce back up and go again, like I said to the lady this evening, but I couldn't, and I know I couldn't. So I had to sort of stop, do what I needed to do, get it fixed. I spoke on DOdaily that evening when I was in a lot of pain. I could have said, I'm not doing this. I could have said, no, it's ruined my day. But ultimately, I still put a positive outlook on it. I didn't know whether it was broken or not. And I just said, I'll find out when I find out, because I've said it, I've made this point lots of times on DOdaily. I picked up a stat not long after starting this, 85% of the things we worry about turn out to be sort of not even an issue. So yes, there's times we have to worry, there's times we have to be concerned, but a lot of the time we're worrying about nothing. So the way I deal with a bad day is I don't deal with bad days because I don't have them, generally. It can feel like the world's against you. You have periods of time when things don't quite go to plan. But that's probably because you've not dealt with one aspect of it, and that's what I find. If I don't deal with one aspect of it properly, I spoke before about getting up early and how today has almost got better as it went on. If I'd not made that commitment this morning, I probably wouldn't have sort of dealt with things the way I have. And believe me, I've had one or two frustrations today. Anybody close to me will know that. But it's just about sort of dealing with each situation as it comes, trying to concentrate on that one. And then when you're not there, put that to bed. I decided, because my hand felt a little bit better, that I was going to go and try a run. If it had not worked out, it had not worked out. I'd not lost anything. I'd not gone backwards. So it's just about dealing with each situation. And believe me, when your mindset clicks into that, everything changes. And when you realise that the worst thing that can happen in life is loved ones getting hurt or losing loved ones, and the materialistic things don't really matter. Everything really changes. So that's how I deal with it. Great question, by the way. I really, really enjoyed that. It was actually Dawn who fell over. She said she'd have stopped and walked after my trip this evening if she'd have been on her own. But you're right, get up and keep moving. It's about getting back on the horse, isn't it? That was the actual term I used with Dawn. Getting back on the horse and giving it a real go. And as soon as she did that, she absolutely smashed the session. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Just doing your absolute best for each situation. Like I say, great question. Thanks for that. Love that kind of question. Let's me be honest. I can give over my opinion. Really sort of enjoy doing it. Question 2. Speaking of Dawn, after successful raising the funds for free defibrillators, do you have any further ideas about fundraising? Of course, anybody who watches this regular will know through the running group that I lead Do Running. We've had a really good collective effort in fundraising for free defibrillators locally to support activity. Of course, again, my big passion, running. But more than that, all the activity that happens close to where I live, around the River Trent. The campaign was defibs for Trent Bridge. We've managed to secure 2 permanent ones and 1 mobile device that we can use for the running club and keep with us at all times. All stems from when a guy had a cardiac arrest a few years ago, and I always had this in mind to do. It went like a treat. We raised the money very quickly. It's an important issue now, of course, with the sort of recent high-profile events. There was a big, a really high-profile event here in Nottingham where a promising young lad, 17-year-old, collapsed on a football pitch. So again, it brings it all home. I've been wanting to do it, but obviously COVID and the way we had to adapt things sort of stopped that for a while. So we cracked on with it, and we really sort of, it's one of the really, really good, exciting things that has kept me going, even at the start of this injury, and it's one of those things to be really positive about. The honest answer to this, I've got millions of ideas because this is what I do. If anything these days, if I give myself a true job title, it'd probably be fundraiser. And I never meant to do these things. I started running. I did a fundraiser because a lot of people who do run get into sort of raising through doing an event, the London Marathon or a local event. People sort of go down this route. The running community is amazing. The amount of money we must raise collectively must be sort of outweigh anything else out there. And then I've always said it gets kind of a little bit addictive. You're helping people. I'm not doing it for ego or to say I've done this. Probably don't shout about it enough sometimes. And Dawn's one of those people always telling me off about it. But it gets a little bit addictive because it's helping people. And that's one of the things I always talk about trying to look after yourself, isn't it? If you're looking after others, you're probably feeling good about yourself and you probably do things better yourself. So, yeah, I've got lots of ideas. It's coming to that time of year, though, isn't it? I'm starting to think about something for the homeless again when we're getting into the depth of winter. A couple of years ago, we ran an event, like I said, the group I lead ran an event here in Nottingham where we ran on the longest day. The longest night on the sort of midwinter's eve. We did a 5K in the middle of the night, midnight, absolutely freezing cold, to kind of highlight the point that we could do something at the time when other people are suffering. We had a massive clothes and food collection, absolutely staggering the amount that was brought to us over this event. Lots of people ran, we donated a fee, kind of looking at something along those lines. It's not quite, I had a couple of ideas to do it, sort of a similar weekend. Wanted to do it twice a year ongoing from when we did it, but again, the dreaded COVID got in the way. So looking to sort of rekindle that and get it going. It's not quite going to plan at the moment in terms of dates and sort of logistics, but keep working at it. Hopefully I'll have some news to bring on that. So I think it's that time of year, isn't it, where we have to look towards the homeless and those less fortunate and do whatever we can. So that's sort of playing on my mind at the moment. If I do something in the next couple of months, it'll be surrounding that. We've done collections through COVID. It definitely, at least that, that's the least we can do at this time of year. So watch this space on that one. But thanks for the question. A good sort of variation again in what people are asking. Okay. Has asked me, who are you most looking forward to seeing on I'm a Celebrity this year? Little bit of a guilty pleasure, this one. Spoke about guilty pleasures before. Absolutely love I'm a Celebrity. Don't actually watch too much television. Outside sport, Kay's probably shouting in whatever room she's in at the moment. He's always got the football on. But don't actually watch too much television. A couple of factual programs. I love a good walking program. There's an absolute belter on at the minute on Channel 4. It's not really a Saturday night program, but we watch it on a Sunday about beaches, and it's a really good program. But again, that's just the walking and like wanting to visit new places and find out about new things. Really interesting. So yeah, look out for that. But I don't watch too much, but I really do like this one. Out of all the reality programs, this is the one I really look forward to. Really sort of excited about it coming on. It just gives a bit of structure. At the end of the day, at this time of year, I mentioned before, we tend to hibernate, probably go to bed a bit sooner, get ourselves sort of bedded down for the evening, put a warm clothes on, and normally they're in Australia, of course, but last couple of years due to COVID, they've been in Wales. So it's just something I really enjoy. Ant and Dec, they're great, aren't they? They're light-hearted. But getting back to the question, who am I most looking forward to? As ever with these things, you don't always know every celebrity. Not all of them are celebrities, are they? They're kind of at least D-listers. So I don't know all of them. I asked Kate who's actually in it when she said she was going to ask me this question. And she said, someone out of Emmerdale, someone out of Colin. I'm like, no, who's in it? I don't need to know that. I don't know who they are. But, of course, there's David Ginola, the football interest. It'll be interested to see how he gets on. Mr. Smooth from the 90s. I'm sure he's still like that. The one I'm probably really looking forward to seeing, because he's probably going to be a bit annoying, is Richard Madeley. Do you know, we all know what I'm talking about. He's a little bit boring, isn't he? Do you know, he thinks he's cool, but he's probably not. I can imagine he's going to ask a lot of questions, being a journalist, but he's probably going to upset people as well, isn't he? He's probably going to get a bit annoyed, and just seeing what I've seen on television, he gets annoyed with Judy every morning, doesn't he? Or every day on This Morning, they'd end up arguing. So looking forward to seeing him. And I've heard the second wave of celebrities, I'm spoiling it all here, aren't I? Involves, whilst I don't watch soaps, I've probably been guilty of it at some point in my life. I know who Steve McDonald is. He seems like a bit of a quirky character. I believe he's coming in, you know, so I think he just seems a bit daft, doesn't he? A bit bonkers. So it'll probably be good fun. Other than that, it's just about watching it. The thing I love about this one, you know, and I've watched one or two of the others in time, but not like I watch this one every year. It's just watching it develop. Of course, somebody who's talks about sort of feelings and emotions and trying to understand myself and other people a little bit better. This is great, isn't it, for people watching? You know, it's great to see characters develop and how people respond to each other and do certain things. So just really love that side of it. People say it's boring when they don't fall out. Do you know, I love it when they don't fall out. Again, probably a bit wishy-washy. I know it's not what people want to see. People don't watch DOdaily because they see me being positive. So why would they watch I'm a Celebrity? But it's just, I just love seeing it. There was that year when they all got on. I think it was when Harry Redknapp won. There was all best mates. You know, there wasn't much going on. I thought that was great because people were just enjoying themselves. They didn't know what they were getting into. That the challenges are hard, aren't they? They're always good to see. Can't watch some of them. I'd be rubbish at it myself. Absolutely rubbish. But looking forward to it. So, yeah, that starts on Sunday. Again, it might just help me sort of finish my day off a little bit quicker and take that little bit of time back, which is always a good thing, isn't it? So thanks for all those questions. Like I say, if you've got anything to add, please drop it in the comments. Like I say, there was a variation in there, something different, wasn't it? It wasn't all running. It wasn't all that. Whilst that's put me in a great frame of mind, you know, getting stuck into those is made me think what I do like and how I can do things that little bit better. And that's all I'm trying to do on a Thursday. Of course, I always ask a throwback. I'll go into that quickly because it's kind of based on that last one, whilst not being necessarily about I'm a Celebrity. Which TV program is your guilty pleasure? Again, I probably asked something along the similar lines last year, probably around this time of year because of that. But it's always great to hear, isn't it? I'm always inspired by what people say. Quite often people say, oh, you have to watch this film. And I never understand it when people go, well, I'm not watching it if they've told me to watch it. That's absolute rubbish, isn't it? Do you know, that's bullshit. Do you know, if somebody recommending something, take it on board. Do you know, if somebody tells me that this is a really good program, I'd rather hear that than go, oh, no, I'm not going to watch it because they said it's really good. So all I'm trying to do, again, it might just inspire you to watch something, get something from it. If there's any good sort of factual programs out there, let me know. Do you know, anything I've missed in terms of walking and things about bridges or engineering or whatever things I tend to watch these days. Probably getting a bit old before my time. Like to think I'm quite cool, but I'm probably sounding a bit like Richard Madeley now, aren't I? But there you go. So yeah, drop it in the comments. Of course, email that and any questions to des@dorunning.org.uk. Love to have plenty of variation to go at. Anything about running, anything about other activities, you know, anything about the way I'm feeling, anything about current affairs. There's a lot going on again, isn't there? There's some really pressing issues in the news, you know. And one thing I have done, you know, subconsciously this time, I've spoke about it a lot in the past, is switching off from the news. Not really done it. I know what's going on, but I've not got stuck into the news whilst I've not been feeling great, you know, and I've only just thought of this as I'm saying it, and that's a really good thing, because if I'd let that kind of stuff get to me, you know, I'd have been really fed up with it, you know, but I feel like I'm really determined to get through this one, and that's not brought me down. But there is pressing issues, so if you want to ask my opinion of them, if you want to get my feedback, you know, if you've got any sort of anything you want to talk about, I'm happy to do it, even bring you in if you want to. You know, that's what Thursday's all about. while sometimes it's light-hearted, a little bit like it's been today, you know, it can be thought-provoking as well. You know, I've done some really deep issues where we've got people in, you know, and that's all it's about. It's just trying to open up conversations about different things. I'm happy to speak about the things other people are uncomfortable with. So, like I say, email your questions to des@dorunning.org.uk. I'd love to sort of get stuck into those. And then, of course, I'll be back for Wake Up to Walk. Do you know, whilst you're thinking of all those questions, I'll be attacking the day tomorrow, really getting stuck in. I don't think I'm going to do the Robin Hood way. I was planning it this week, but I think it's all probably a bit too much too soon. Again, I've done some activity tonight, and I don't know how I'm going to feel in the morning. But I'm definitely going to give it a go next week. You know, I'm really going to get stuck in. So I'll probably be local. Well, I will be local. I'll be out there. I'll be somewhere enjoying the morning. Hopefully, it's as beautiful as this morning, you know, because I told you how much I got from it today. I'll expand on that. I'll talk about the weekend, kind of reflect on the week. We spoke about a lot about being positive and saying that one kind word, haven't we? Making comments. I've made a point this week of making lots of comments on things, supporting people, getting behind people's ideas and projects. You know, I'm always asking for that. I'm asking for subscribers, you know, because I know the difference it makes, you know, and it's been anti-bullying week. You know, a lot of people have criticised me, have mocked, have said something. You know, I'm not going to go too much over old ground because it's starting to become water off a duck's back. I've started to realise I never intended on changing the world, but I'm not going to change everybody around me. If they want to sort of get involved, the opportunities are there. You know, if they don't want to do it, if they don't see what I do for them and don't want to repay it, that's absolutely fine too. But if they do, you know, offer that one kind word. You know, that's all I'm trying to do. Offer it to other people. You know, I've messaged people, you know, I've shown them what I'm up to, because it's just about getting people involved, isn't it? Doing whatever you can to really, really enjoy the things you do and try and avoid those bad days, if that's what you think you have, or those bad situations, trying to get through them the best we can. And that's all I've got to say today, guys. You know, in the middle of this week, you know, like I say, I'll be back tomorrow, sort of going over everything. You know, it's good to reflect, not dwell on. It's good to reflect. You know, look at the positives. Sorry, something made me jump then. It was a fly, I think. You know. But anyway, on that note, I'm gonna finish. Until tomorrow, just doing it.